Stephanie Rond is a painter, curator, and punk rock musician. She describes herself as a feminist painter and often incorporates messages from 1950s advertising in her work. Up next, we hear about her journey as an artist and social activist.
I actually got started in art probably in 10th grade is when I became very serious about it. I've always been into art. That's where I felt like my voice was strongest. I always like a new challenge of how to say what I want to say in a new way. I use paints that are man-made. There's something about the aesthetic of that plastic quality that I am drawn to. And I also do a lot with old advertisements from the 50s. It's already something that's in our culture, and I like taking that and making a new story with it. I researched probably thousands of 50s ads to find the ones that I wanted to use. To me, that search helps bring in the story. With the new work that I'm doing, it's very text involved. I was in a punk rock band for 5 years, and that kind of changed what I thought about the written word as a way to get people to start the story where I want them to start the story in my paintings and then jump off from that text. I have been a feminist painter for the past probably 17 years. I feel like that's where my voice is in my artwork, is talking about the inequalities that still exist between men and women. Discussing gender and humor go together because I want people to be comfortable with the artwork right away and then kind of see that there's an underlying topic there. So I've always been interested in the female aspect of art making and the idea of handmade crafts and thinking about like women's work and how women have been making artwork forever. It's not really considered an art form. I really like the idea of the labor behind lace or cross-stitch or embroidery. Street art and graffiti is actually the other half of the artwork that I'm making right now. That's a very male-dominated art still, but I like taking the styles that they're using and incorporating it into my work. So it's kind of two separate things that talk to each other. If I can make artwork where people can have discussions about inequality, doesn't matter race, gender, sexual preference, we should all be considered equals. I enjoy making art spaces where they don't exist to kind of give quality back to the community. There's definitely an art to putting a show together and making sure that this piece that's next to this piece is talking correctly. The first place I started curating at was the Carnegie Gallery, which is at the main library. And they had built a gallery, but they weren't putting art in there. So I asked to start getting nonprofits to come in and have shows. With 2,000 people coming into the library every day, that's a huge audience. The kind of art that I bring to the Carnegie are actually large organizations, large nonprofits. For example, the Ohio Art League or Roy G. Biv. And what we do there is we put out a call for entry and we will have 40 to 50 artists look at a theme to go into the show. Holycraft is actually a newer venture. It is a handmade goods store. It's actually part of the DIY, kind of the punk rock culture. It goes along a lot with my artwork. It's got a lot of wit and humor. It's not your grandmother's craft store. We wanted to have this gallery because there isn't much difference between craft and art, so it was just a natural progression to put art and craft together. Some of the challenges that I face working as an artist today is the economy. The art world's getting very hit by that. People don't realize that it's not a luxury, that it's a necessity. It is what we are as human beings. It's how we communicate with each other. It's about human expression. Anybody should have the right to be able to express themselves.
To find out more about Stephanie Rond and all the artists found here today, check out DetroitReforms.org.